Indonesian President Joko Widodo has congratulated Prabowo Subianto on his election performance after unofficial counts showed the defense minister securing more than 50% of the votes in yesterday's elections. The 72-year-old lost the previous two presidential polls to the outgoing leader. Now, in his speech to his supporters hours after quick count results indicated that he'd secured an outright majority, Mr. Prabowo declared his win as a, quote, victory for all Indonesians, but said that he will continue to wait for the Election Commission's official result. His two rivals have yet to concede defeat. Anies Baswedan said that he would only respect the result when it was finalized, while Ganjar Pranowo's campaign team says that it discovered, quote, structured, systematic and massive electoral fraud. The initial result also fueled a wave of discontent on social media. The hashtag RIP Democracy trended on X, formerly known as Twitter, while some human rights groups reiterated concerns about Mr. Prabowo's past as an ex-general. An official announcement of the Electoral Commission's final tally is still weeks away, but according to the latest quick count, Mr. Prabowo is well in the lead with more than 57% of support. Now, that is more than double what Mr. Anies Baswedan, the runner-up, has, while Mr. Ganjar trails with around 16%. Breaking it down by region, Mr. Prabowo leading across the country, with the exception of Aceh, West Sumatra, and the capital Jakarta in favour of Mr. Anies. On the legislative front, the ruling PDIP in the lead with more than 15% of the votes. Golkar is a close second, while Mr. Prabowo's Gerindra party is coming in third. We are continuing our extensive coverage of this historic election in Indonesia with updated results and analysis from our team in Jakarta. Let's get back there now, and Chani Vatvani joins us. She is in the capital. Chani, earlier the General Elections Commission, they held a press conference on the findings of investigations on supposed electoral fraud claims. What were some of the key takeaways?
Well, Dawn, several takeaways from this press conference held by not only the General Elections Commission, but together with the Election Supervisory Agency. Now, the agency has recommended a re-vote in Malaysia's Kuala Lumpur for those who voted by post and mobile ballot box. Now, this recommendation was issued because Bawaslu, or the supervisory agency, found a number of alleged elective administrative violations. Now, this recommendation was also based on Malaysia's Supervisory Committee's observation of the voting process, and some other recommendations were also put forward, such as excluding the results of the postal and mobile ballot box voting methods and updating the voters list for the postal and mobile ballot box methods to exclude people who had cast their votes in person whilst at the polling stations, as well as an evaluation and consideration of alternative voting methods for the future, so that they can avoid situations like this one. Now, these recommendations will affect some 200,000 votes, and the agency said that they found 19 issues during the course of voting and vote counting stages for the 2024 elections, 13 in the implementation of the voting mechanism, and 6 in the vote counting process. And these include mixed up ballot papers, intimidation, multiple votes from the same people, and pre-marked ballots as well, among others.
Chani, what we are keen to see is the official results from yesterday's polls, but they're not going to be out by at least the 20th of March, and that is more than a month away. Why does it take so long?
Well, according to the General Elections Commission, the recapitulation stage of vote counting is scheduled to take place from February the 15th, which is today, to March 20th, 2024, which means the results of the 2024 general election will only be announced by the Commission on March 20th. Now, as to why the process takes that long, well, Indonesia is an archipelago consisting of over 17,000 islands, and this is the world's biggest single-day election, comprising some 205 million people spread across over 820,000 polling stations within the country and over 3,000 polling stations overseas. Now, added to the fact that there needs to be time allocated to address potential revoting, such as what could be happening in Kuala Lumpur, as well as time to address cases of other electoral fraud, be it taking the cases up with the police and investigating it thoroughly and so on and so forth. So most of all, if they are going to count the votes of all 205 million people, they want to try to get it right. Now, for more insights, let's get out to CNA's Lok Wei Su. She's also in Jakarta covering Indonesia's votes 2024.
Thanks for that, Chani. The Election Commission's official count, of course, confirming that Mr. Prabowo Subianto is on course for the presidency. And I'll be joined by my two guests right in Jakarta. We'll look at what the Prabowo administration could mean for Indonesia and how the winners and losers of this poll will be maneuvering around the main man in the weeks, days, months ahead. But for now, back to you, Dawn, in Singapore.
Thanks, Wei Su. We will look forward to more analysis with our guests. That's later in the show.